Hey, what's up, everybody? Just the other day, I released a video that talked about something called PS5 Self-Decryptor, which is a way now that we can do things such as decrypting PlayStation 5 games on 5.x with 0.1 release, and then with the 0.2 release, it added support for 6.x and 7.x. Now, there has been a couple of updates on this story since then, so I'm going to go ahead and jump straight into it. So the first thing here is that Speed007 has said that right now only 2 games are working, that most of the games that's on the 5.x are crashing, and they are not working on 4.00. He did note here that because this isn't real backporting, if the game really does use the 5.0 SDK, then it will crash and won't work on 4.x. Now, the 2 games that is showing that works is Arkanoid External Battle, which I talked about yesterday, and then we will also get a Plague's Tale here, which I understand is a really exciting game. Now, with all of this news here for 6.x and 7.x and 5.x support, I did notice over here in john-tornblom's bdj-sdk that those 5, 6, and 7 offsets have been committed and are waiting to be merged into the master here. So we can see right here is the 5.x, 5.02, you got your 5.10, 5.50, all the way up to 7.61. So it looks like there's going to be quite a few amazing things coming. Now, over in the PS5 Research and Development Discord, I noticed this message from EchoStretch. So the question was asked, is the KStuff port problem solved? And the response there is no, but it's coming along great. And I started porting to 7.61. We currently ran into an issue, but I'm sure the team will figure it out. And then there was a follow-up question here of are 5, 6, and 7.x getting KStuff support altogether? And currently nothing at this time for 6.x as I have no access to kernel, maybe later, but nothing is 100% with these higher firmwares. We just need to wait and see. And that was what I saw over there in Discord. Okay, moving right along to some other news here. I noticed over on HackerOne that there was a bug reported by the flow that is now showing that it was resolved right at 1 day ago. So this is more great news coming in for the PlayStation scene. So what's great about this is that obviously this is a high level, which means that this is going to be more of your exploits that Sony is going to go ahead and patch, wait until those patches are out long enough, and then they'll eventually let the person disclose them. We all know that the Flow Zero is usually able to disclose all of his hacks, so it looks like we're in great shape with that, and then with this being resolved just a day ago. Now, if you were to ask me what does this affect, I would say it was absolutely the PlayStation 4 12.00. So, yes, those that upgraded to at least 12.00, 100%, that's got to be something that's in this. We can see right here with 12.02, they made some security fixes to the system software. But yeah, this isn't anything out of the ordinary. Normally, when they find or fix bugs, they do put something like security fixes in there. Now, there wasn't anything for the PlayStation 5 as far as in the release notes about security fixes. Now, I know there was this very famous message from the Flow asking for the 10.40 pups over on Discord, and while that might have something to do with it, I'm not so convinced because 10.60 didn't have anything in the release notes regarding security. So that is basically why I believe this is only affecting PlayStation 4 12.00 at this current moment in time. Now, a few other updates in here was that I noticed that Lightning Mod released a tool, and he said here that I noticed some Windows users are having issues finding the right tools to send payloads. So I made a native Windows PowerShell script to send payloads. So some of the benefits with this is that you don't need to install anything. It works natively, and that the source is easily viewable and can be modified with a text editor. Now, I took a look at the script. This is inside of the etaHEN repo, and it's just called send payload. And obviously, this very clear and straight to the point with lots of different comments in that. So if you are using a Windows client tool, maybe something like Netcat GUI, but maybe you just prefer the command line, well, this is definitely a pretty good option for you. Now, there was something that I had released on Twitter, and this comes by the way of a person called QTR703. And I really felt like this is a great representation of where we're currently at with the PlayStation 5 and with the current hacks that we have available. So the chart is simple enough to read here, but you can see from 1 to 2.70. Obviously, we can do things like debug settings, etaHEN, case stuff. We now have access to the hypervisor, but it also shows you any of the things that we don't currently have access to. So obviously, over on 6.00 to 7.61, we can get debug settings, but we don't have things such as case stuff there. We don't have a hypervisor, whereas we have those on some of those firmwares like on 4.03. Anyways, I thought I would leave this chart here for you because it is a nice little handy reference. The next thing that I wanted to let you know of is that if you do use GoldHEN and the cheats database, there has been another update from Chameleon that came through. And these updates have been coming through pretty consistently. So we can see February the 1st, the 7th, and the 19th. So obviously you can come in here and it will show the additions and the deletions if you want to search for your specific game. And obviously you can update to this using one of the cheat tools yourself. And then there's been a bit of movement that's been happening over here with the remote Lua-loader, so fixes, and one of them is for this game right here, which I believe is called Akage 2. Now, I did mention just the other day on Twitter that this was kind of the cost of owning a PlayStation hacking YouTube channel, and that was that I went ahead and I purchased this one myself, and I did that because I wanted a physical disc that I could start running this on. And by the way, right now may not be the absolute best time to buy a disc. I'm just trying to get in a little bit early. There may be ways to do this with simply a demo. Now, if we look down here into the README here, what it states is that this is a remote Lua-loader for the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5, and it basically allows games built with the Artemis engine to load arbitrary Lua files. So it says this loader is not firmware dependent and it has worked on a 10.40 machine. And here is the current list of games. Now, I'm currently in the United States, and the absolute cheapest game on this list, which is why I was super glad that this fix just came in for this game, was Akage 2. And so I got this for right around $40 US, which was a great deal compared to some of these other games like Raspberry Cube is really $70 bare minimum to get to the United States, and some of these were even more than that. Now, there is this demo here, but you do have to obviously update to the latest firmware from PlayStation Network, and you do have to use a Japanese account. So anyways, there has been quite a bit of development that I have been noticing over here. This was just from February the 16th. And with that, I've seen a couple of different projects kind of pop up over here. And one of them was the automatic-lua-loader. So this right here is an installer script which is meant to be run on a Raspberry Pi. So it loads the Lua savegame exploit automatically whenever the game is ready. And this project here just got an update just a few days ago as well. Now, the last thing that I will mention on this is that there is a graphical user interface by Master S that is currently out, just released a couple of days ago. So some of those payloads, they're just a lot easier to find here because they're all included just in this one tool. So not just the basic hello world, but also the FTP server. And then this one is obviously the UMTX, which most people would probably be looking for. Anyways, I just wanted to provide this kind of quick update here for a bunch of things happening in the PlayStation scene. Stay tuned to the channel here because I'm going to be covering absolutely all of it. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Michael. Out!